What I saw today, the style of the case of Ray Epps against Tucker Carlson and Fox News. Here's the breakdown. Most people, well, I shouldn't say most, but most that I know of, most who ever have said the name Ray Epps, always said undercover operative, Fed, confidential informant, agent, agent in the legal sense, not a federal agent, but an agent, a co-conspirator, an accomplice, somebody who went there to try to lure people in. And how come he wasn't arrested? Everybody else is arrested, but not this guy. He basically said, come on, would you go in there? Come on, we got to do this. Come on. And it looked real fishy. And if you didn't think it looked fishy, well, but here's the catch. Ray Epps is saying, I don't give a damn how fishy it looked. I'm not an agent. And Tucker Carlson and Fox News defamed me, libeled me, subjected me and my family to threats. And that is where it gets different. I'm going to break this thing down for you. We're going to talk about this because it's a fascinating case. And as your resident famed barrister, lawyer of note, I'm going to break down this case. And I'm going to ask you before we do this to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of new videos. But before we do this, first, I ask you to listen to our great friends of our great sponsor, our friends at Noble Gold Investments. Listen to them now. Okay, let's go through this, shall we? First of all, defamation, libel, slander. What's the difference? Libel, it's a statement of fact. A statement of fact, not an opinion, a statement of fact that causes you damages, reputation damages, damages to your business, damages to your name, damages that are a result of this false claim that I've made. False. Truth is a defense. Remember this. Truth is a defense. If I call you a communist and you're a communist, if I call you a lot of stuff and it's true, under old common law days, even in the state of Delaware, where the case of Hunter Biden's going on regarding the laptop and the exposure of private information. But for the most part, it's very simply something like this. It means specifically that you cannot issue a statement that is false and that causes damages. If it's true, okay. Libel means recorded, something that has a historical aspect to it. Recorded in a book, on television, radio, something where it's recorded, a newspaper where somebody can go back and see this defamatory statement again. Slander is something that's stated. It's spoken. Nobody ever brings any charge for slander, okay? But let's talk about it mostly defamation. Here's the kick. And this is very similar to the Alex Jones case regarding Sandy Hook. If Tucker Carlson were to say, and by the way, this all comes down to the facts of the case as adduced, as presented, what evidence they have to play for the jury. Here's number one. Here's the first video, the second video, the second, third night, fourth night, fifth night, sixth night. It tends to be kind of cumulative. They get into some unique damage calculations, X amount of dollars per exposure. But if it is something like this, and again, I've not seen the evidence, but I'm just giving you kind of a generic one. But if it went something like this, let's assume arguendo, for the sake of argument, as opposed to innuendo, which is an Italian suppository. But let's assume arguendo. It's as follows. Tucker Carlson says, again, I'm not saying he said this, but let's assume. If Tucker Carlson said, Ray Epps is an informer, he works with the feds, he works with them, he is an an agent provocateur. He is pretending to side with these people. He is not any kind of a Trump Confederate. He is not there to protest. He is there. It's obvious. Look at him. And why wasn't he arrested? He wasn't arrested because he was one of them. If that's the statement, if it was something like that, and it's not true, and if it was, we can get into the reckless statements later on, but because that's something that's very interesting. You see, was Ray Epps a public figure? Was Ray Epps a public figure? Or was he just Ray Epps? Because, New York Times against Sullivan said if Ray Epps is the plaintiff and the defendant, Tucker Carlson and Fox News, normally they're the one. Anyway, but Ray Epps, if he was deemed a public figure, somebody who put himself out, somebody who subjected himself to the ignominy and the opprobrium and the Klieg light of attention and whatever, then you've got to show that Tucker and Fox News exhibit some type of malice, some reckless disregard for the truth, or knowing that it wasn't false. I don't even think we're going to get to that, but let's just assume. Okay. What did you do? Assume. And the way, let me tell you something. Fox right now, I'm telling you right now, is going to fold like a cheap suit. They never fight anything. But let's be crazy and say think it was a trial. Mr. Carlson, you didn't investigate this, did you? Well, no, this was just your opinion, wasn't it? Your thought, your idea. When you say your opinion, you didn't say in my opinion, you said it was a matter of fact. Had you said, in my opinion, I think Ray Epps is an agent. In my opinion, that would have been a different story. But that's not what you did it? No. What you said was a matter of fact. Over and over and over. And then they wanted you to apologize, and you didn't. And then that's another thing, too. All they wanted you to do was just clear the record, but you didn't. Let's assume that gets in to royally piss off the jury. Okay? Okay. Now, let's look at this carefully. If the feds had only just arrested Ray Epps, it would have helped his case tremendously. Because as cases go, it looks real fishy, doesn't it? Now, looking fishy ain't enough to say, aha, you're a federal agent. We'll get to that in a moment. But it looks fishy. There were people who were walking around saying, oh, look, the Capitol. You're under arrest. Wait a minute. Give me your phone. Were you in Washington? I was there on the convention of the Bible. Get in the back of the paddy wagon. You're under arrest. We're going to send you to this gulag, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to feed you soup through the bars, you miserable, to this gulag. And here's his ghost. Here we go. Come on. I mean, it looks fishy. Had Tucker Carlson said, I'm no expert, but I think that looks kind of weird, don't you? Well, that sometimes says more than anything else. But under that, that's almost like an opinion. He would have been off the hook. Now, it depends. Again, we have to see, how did Tucker phrase these things? How did he state them? I kind of remember them, but I don't know. Something tells me he was pretty clear with what he suggested as true. Here's where the problem is. Same thing goes for Alex Jones, and this is what drives people crazy. Alex Jones can stand up and say, as far as I'm concerned, as far as most people are concerned, I don't think this happened. I don't think that happened. I don't think World War II happened. I don't think the Gulf of Tonkin, the Maine. I don't believe we landed on the moon. I believe the earth is flat. I believe Eratosthenes was wrong. He could have said anything. I don't think this happened. I don't think that happened. What changes it is when the defamation, which, by the way, can go from an opinion, In that case, it's, and again, I'm not an expert in the Alex case, but that went from I don't think this event happened to these people are lying. And then comes the threat and the opprobrium and the pointing of the fingers and all of it. Then it gets really, really dangerous. And that's the part where juries say, woo. Ray Epps says, we had to move. I'm a Marine. I voted for Trump twice. I thought I was doing, assuming this is the evidence. And it's not going to go to trial because, Fox News, they settle everything. Hell, during that, and they've got that Smartmatic, they've got derivative lawsuits. They just settled with that producer. They've been all the sexual harassment. I don't think have they even had a deposition? Have they ever done anything? Man, you should have a TV show. Have you been injured? Have you want to be in? Do you want to be injured? How about this? Have you worked at Fox News? Have you been at Fox News? Anybody look at you, leer, glance, give you the once-over, treat you rudely? I mean, my God. But when you hear stories, and assuming he's real, he has this thing called jury appeal and sympathy. Dear God, they're looking at you, bastard. You didn't check this out? That's it? You thought, this is what the jury might say, you just thought he was what? That's it? You went and used your position of authority, the number one cable, to skewer this man? Can you hear the closing argument? Dear God. An American hero, a veteran. Did you serve your country? No. While you were in Nantucket on your dinghy, this guy's, and then you go through the whole thing. Oh, I mean to tell you. And if that lawyer, assuming it went to trial, assuming the lawyer could say, I don't give a damn what it looks like. Excuse me, Mr. FBI agent, yeah, how many people were there that day? 1,000. Were all of them arrested? No. Was everybody brought in? No. Of the people who were seen in the Capitol, were all of those people arrested? No. Did all of the people who said, come on, let's storm it, were they arrested? No. So not everybody who was there was arrested. Were any of those people federal agents? No. Let's assume you hear that as the evidence. Let's hear suppose that's the testimony. Let me tell you something. There is this anti-Tucker thing there. And you know it and I know what I mean. They are going for the throat with this guy. I mean, he represents, and now he gets this Tate guy and they're going after him. He is, I'm telling you, TDS is now Tucker derangement syndrome. He's got this. You mention his name, they go nuts. We're going to be talking more about this, okay? If you don't mind. What do you think? Put your thoughts in the comments down. Ask me questions. And don't tell me what you think. Think of yourself as a juror. Can you prove this? This is the case. Jurors can't be detectives. Jurors can't say, well, I know what happened. It doesn't work like that. So do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you'll be notified of new videos. And please, as I always remind you of our great sponsor, Noble Gold Investments. You listen to them and we follow the link that I have provided for you. All right, dear friends, thank you so much for watching. And now always I ask you to comment as you see fit.